Versa best company.
Versa Business Systems.
It's a better
Versa Business Systems.
Versa Business Systems.
Shine.
Welcome to the Versa Business Tips Podcast. I'm your host, founder and CEO of Versa Business Systems, Shaheen Mazloom. We're here with a very exciting guest today, an expert when it comes to AI, Ron Green, one of the founders of KungFu AI. How you doing today, Ron?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for joining us, man. I love this conversation. Some people are scared of it. Some people love it. Some people are using it like crazy. Others aren't, man. This conversation is... we could be here all day.
Yep.
But we got about 30 minutes. So, Ron, for those out there that don't know who you are and what KungFu AI does, give us a little rundown.
Yeah. So I'm Ron Green. I'm a co-founder and the chief technology officer of KungFu AI. We're an AI strategy and engineering firm. We're over 7 years old. We work exclusively in artificial intelligence, and we help companies adopt and implement AI. We do everything from strategy development to custom AI model design and development.
Very cool. Now, is most of your do you cover everything, like from AI pictures, videos to like the sales side, the marketing side? Are you in all of those different?
Yeah, we do it all. What's really cool is because the main technique within AI is this thing called deep learning, like artificial neural networks.
Yeah.
So we can apply it to anything, whether it's generating images or optimizing sales pipelines. It really just goes everywhere.
Right. And so, I hear people talk about it all the time. Like, yeah, we use AI. And then when they tell you what they're using, it ends up being automation.
Yeah.
Right. So for those out there what would you say is the difference between, AI and automation? Like, how do you differentiate the two?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, automation, I think, as a sort of a broad category where you could automate something using techniques that weren't related to AI at all. And until, really recently, that was pretty much all you could do. And
right.
what AI has done is brought to the table the ability to perceive, both envision, text, audio, etc., in a way that's at the human level or better for the first time ever. And then you layer in with that its predictive capabilities, because it can process just an insane amount of information, right? So you put these two things together and all of a sudden you can automate tasks that required maybe a human to look or touch or feel or understand or read and interpret things. And you can couple that with the predictive capabilities. So, for example, we've built systems that can, I'll give you an example. Look at mammograms and predict the risk of breast cancer 5 years in the future. And what's amazing about that is it's not detecting cancer.
Right.
There is no cancer, but it's picking up on biological signs of cancer, and we don't know what it's seeing. We literally don't know what it's seeing.
That's insane.
It's insane.
That's so crazy, dude. So everybody wants to know, where does it end, right? Like, what is it? Like if you ask AI, hey, create something that, I see all these videos where people ask some wild questions like, hey, if you were to destroy the world, how would you do it? You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. How does the government or, the powers that be control this, or can they not stop it? Can they not control it? What is your take on all that?
That's a really deep area, and
Yeah.
I, if I'm being intellectually honest, I don't think any of us know exactly how
Right.
this will play out.
That's kind of how I feel about it.
I wouldn't be doing this if I wasn't really optimistic, meaning thinking that not only can we build things that will, make the world a better place,
Better the world, yeah.
but that we will also be able to control them, because
Right.
I don't think it's responsible to say we're going to build these systems that are going to make the world a better place up until they take over and kill us all. Right.
Right.
And so the reason I'm optimistic about that is that the pressure to go rogue and be independent would really have to manifest itself in sort of evolutionarily selective ways. We don't really have to go into that, but the point
Right.
is that I'm much more optimistic that we will be able to build systems that stay, what the technical term is, aligned,
Right.
and that as they achieve general intelligence and then sort of super intelligence, that there won't be any reason necessarily for them to sort of have nefarious intent, and I'm pretty optimistic about that.
Yeah. Yeah. That was kind of my thought on it. It's like, well, what would they gain
Right.
out of that, right? Like, an AI doesn't need money, an AI doesn't need
Exactly.
power, and AI, you know what I mean? It's
That's
like
right.
there's certain things that humans need, and like when you look at like the bad people, right? Like
Right.
the terrorists and the gangsters, and they need that money and power.
Right.
AI doesn't need that. They don't have the feeling, right?
That's right. That's right.
So that's always been my take on it too. Is like there's nothing to get out of it, right?
Right.
So there's so many different tools out there. To the businesses that aren't even implementing AI yet, we always say start somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Start somewhere, even if it's just asking ChatGPT to create an email for you or a text message or something. Just start somewhere.
Yes.
And gradually use more and more. What are some, AI tools or things that AI can do that you think every single business should be using by now?
The large language models, ChatGPT and Claude, I think that it's really crazy. I will talk to people, and half the room will be engaged and they're using those tools every day, and the other half will say, I'm not impressed. I don't really find it helpful. I don't understand that second half. I mean, it blows my mind, candidly.
Yeah, I didn't either. It's really, one thing I've realized is it's how you ask it to do things, right? My wife's a little bit older than me, and so like I introduced her to some of the newer technology, right? So like ChatGPT, she's a real estate agent, so I'm like, look, like you can use this to really help you and save you a lot of time. And I watched her asking it to create things, and it was like she was talking to a person. I'm like, you got to remember, this is a computer. You got to be very specific about what you're looking for,
right,
how you want it written. And, I think AI is only as good as the person using it right now.
I think there's a ton of truth to that. And if you will get better as people use this, I think they'll find it can do a lot of things that it literally couldn't even do 6 months ago. So, for example, both Anthropic and OpenAI, the makers of Claude and ChatGPT, they recently released sort of deep research capabilities, right? And I gave an assignment, what was it, a couple days ago, to go research the history of this trend within artificial intelligence. I said, go look at the last 10 years. Go find all the major developments, find all of the presentations, the original presentations on those developments, come back, synthesize it, and describe where you think this is going in the future. And it ran for 20 minutes and came back, and it was about a 2,000-page report. And it was incredible, and had citations and papers and links and everything. And, I think that probably would have been, easily a day's worth of work for me, and it just knocked it out in 20 minutes. So those types
you would not be able to do that in a day.
Yeah, maybe not even in a day, right? Not even in a day. So
That's insane.
there are so many ways it can be used right now.
Yeah.
It's mostly a lack of our own imagination if you're not getting utility out of it.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. It's funny that you say that. People are like, I hear these people all the time. They're like, I was thinking about writing a book. I'm thinking about writing a book. I'm thinking about writing a book. You know how easy it is to write a book now?
It's true.
Make a video and have AI create a book out of it. That's what I did for my first book. Literally, this right here. This was almost 2 years ago.
Oh, boy.
I literally created a video about the 5 secrets to getting the best deal on a business loan, uploaded the YouTube link into this AI, and it gave me a, 80-page book.
Yeah. There you go.
And it was a #1 bestseller on Amazon and Kindle.
I mean, you gotta love it.
It's crazy. So obviously, you got ChatGPT and Claude. Are we at a point where, I see all these ads for, AI taking over your social media, and you can literally just have ChatGPT create a content Excel sheet and put it into your, poster, and the AI will literally post videos, pictures, and content as many times a day as you want. Mm-hmm. Is that like for real?
You can do things like that. I think people are pretty quickly beginning to pick up on the whether things are AI generated, and
right. So is it the most effective?
Exactly. Is it the most effective? Maybe it's a good way to get started.
Right.
As humans, we always crave authenticity, right? We want
100%.
We want people to not sell to us, but to talk to us, right?
Yeah.
And so what I encourage people to do is, leverage the AI to help you be creative, but also use it to find what you want to say and then say it yourself. Don't be afraid of speaking your own voice and being vulnerable, right? Get out there. And then the last thing is just share information. Don't be focused so much on what you're going to get out of it. If you put good content out into the world,
right,
that credibility you build up will come back to you in the long run.
Right. Now, your company has been working with AI, what did you say, for 7 years now?
Yeah, over 7 years, yeah.
Most people had not heard of even ChatGPT until the last couple of years.
Right.
So 7 years ago, how did you get introduced to AI, and what made you decide to jump on it, and that's going to be your life moving forward?
Yeah, it's a funny story. So I was graduating. I did an undergraduate degree in computer science, and I had my last semester, and I was super burned out. I mean, I was toast. And I had 6 hours left. And I remember thinking to myself, I don't know what I'm going to do when I graduate, but it is not going to involve computers, because I was just done. And I took this course on AI, and instantly I fell in love. I was like, oh my God, this is what I want to do with the rest of my life. So I went, I went and worked for a few years, and then I went to grad school, and I actually did a master's in artificial intelligence back in the late 90s.
Wow.
And so I've been working in this field well over 2 decades, but in the early 2000s, the field died. I mean, it absolutely died. It was a little bit a part of the .com bubble and stuff like that. And so it really wasn't until about 2012 to 2015 that this resurgent happened, and what they call the second AI winter, kind of went away. And I consider myself blessed that this thing I've wanted to do since the 90s, I'm finally able to do professionally, and I love it. And I get to wake up every day. The field's moving at light speed. Yeah. I'm trying to stay up on all the advancements.
You never know what's going to happen.
You never know what's going to happen. And I'm trying to stay up on it so we can build the best solutions, the most, capable solutions for our clients. And I just consider myself lucky.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Dude, it's crazy to think that we're in an age where there's billion-dollar companies that have 1 or 2 employees.
That's right.
Like, without AI, it's not possible.
That's right.
Right? Like, it is just insane. AI does a lot of really cool things. It saves a lot of time. It helps with the one thing that you can't buy, which is more time, right? Finally, we have something that can help give us more time back. Now, what are you seeing as far as the trends in where AI is going for the mainstream, right? Like right now, the big thing is ChatGPT. What do you think is kind of the next thing for mainstream, whether it be, entrepreneurs, content creators, people that are going to use it on a regular basis?
Yeah. There's a lot of buzz right now around something called agentic AI, which I think, a lot of us have heard about. It's candidly a little early days. It's one of those things where it's very clear that this is going to be hugely impactful, and that for the most part, we know how it's going to work, but there are corner cases that prevent it from really being dynamic. And the idea with agentic AI or agents is that unlike AI today, where you can maybe train these to be capable of doing something and then use them interactively, with agents or agentic AI, you can kind of give them high-level tasks, and they can go out into the world and digitally online and perform tasks, gather information, interact with websites, but importantly, they can make decisions. They can react, and they can handle ambiguity. So classic examples would be, hey, I want to go on a Europe vacation in June for 2 weeks. I want to go to these 2 or 3 cities. You could tell an agent to go book the flights, book the hotels, and make some dinner reservations, and it can go handle all of that for you automatically. And if every now and then it might need to come back and say, hey, I found, does this restaurant look good? You would say, yeah, I'll be in Paris. That looks like a great restaurant. And it could suggest things like, and it's walking distance from your hotel, which would be great. All of those types of sort of higher order tasks, we will just be able to give to these assistants. And I don't mean in the far future. I mean like in 26, 27.
Wow.
Yeah.
So like I can ask this guy, hey, I want you to reach out to all the CEOs on LinkedIn, at the rate of 200 a day. And I want you to ask them a set of questions, whatever.
Yes.
And man, that is insane.
It really is. It is. What's great about it is.
And are people using a version of this now?
Yes. So right now, there are agentic systems available both on. There's several, in fact. OpenAI has an agentic system.
So I saw
Anthropic
that.
does. They're increasingly being built into tools. So like Salesforce has something they call Agentforce. So you can essentially build agents that operate within all of your Salesforce data and automate capabilities that way. And the beautiful thing about this is it's just the way they handle ambiguity and the way they can make decisions. They can make decisions that are reasonable, like sticking with the vacation example, just to know that you would probably want to be within maybe walking distance of your hotel for the restaurant, and that would be something good. It's not something you have to tell the AIs. That's just built in. That's just world knowledge.
It's almost like they have some common sense, right? That's the crazy part.
That's the perfect way to say it. They have common sense. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
AI has common sense.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
It's crazy, man.
That's crazy. What is the craziest thing you've seen AI do? We talked about a 2,000 page report.
Mm-hmm.
It can book your flights and your hotels and do stuff like that. What's the wildest thing you've seen it do in the last 20 years?
Okay, something happened in January that really
This
January that made me go from being optimistic that we were going down the right path with AI to very optimistic. And it's this.
It's happening.
I think this is happening. So I think everybody listening probably heard about that. The Chinese company DeepSeek, they released this model called R1 in January. And what was crazy about it was They did it very inexpensively, relatively. It was like $5 million, but that's cheap compared to the hundreds of millions and billions that have been spent on other frontier foundational models. But here's the thing that's amazing. They took a model that was a good, top 10% language model, but not the best. But it wasn't very good at like complicated reasoning tasks. And they used this method called reinforcement learning and some other pretty clever techniques, and they trained it. And in their paper, they describe at some point the model had what it calls its aha moment, where they would give it a task and the model would be completing the task, and then all on its own, without being trained to do this, the model said, hold on, wait, I'm not sure if that's right. Let me go back and double check my work. And that's completely new. And it went back and double checked its work and found errors. And this type of capability, this is called a reasoning model. These models that can essentially sort of have metacognition, can have the ability to think about thinking and analyze their own errors.
Imagine the medical. Oh my God.
Exactly. And so now we're in a situation where I expect in the next 3 years, I give it a 50-50 chance in the next 3 years that we'll have broad AGI, artificial general intelligence models.
Right.
And my definition of that is a model that essentially is capable of doing sort of any cognitive task, anything, physics, biology, law, at a level at least as good as a human expert. And I think those are just a few years away.
That's crazy.
Crazy.
Man, it's going to be very going to be very cool to see all the different applications that they push this technology into, from weapons to gym equipment to the medical field. I mean, manufacturing, sales. I mean, it's wild.
It's going to explode. Wild. It's going to be everywhere in our lifetime.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, for those that say AI is going to take all of our jobs, what do you got for those people?
Well, my new go-to joke is I say, it's going to take all of our jobs. There's no question about that. But that's not necessarily a bad thing, because I think the world is going to change. And the first job it seems to be taking more than anything else are programmers' jobs, right? We've got these AI coding assistants that are 100%. Incredibly powerful. And I think that maybe you could argue that, AI is the first field that the first job it took away was the actual, AI engineer's job. It's kind of ironic, right?
Yeah, right.
But in all seriousness, I think what's going to happen is it's not so much that jobs are going to disappear. It's going to be a combination of two things. Certain types of jobs are going to disappear because they're going to be automated. And that's not a bad thing, because most of the jobs that it's going to automate will free us up to do and spend our time in a better way. But most of the time, it's going to be augmentative. And like, for example, at KungFu AI, at my company, I would say in the 100+ AI systems we've built over the last 7 years, 95% of them have what we call a human in the loop, meaning the AI is performing a task or making a prediction, but there's a human that looks at it and makes the final decision. So it's just making things faster and better, not taking jobs. But that won't always
that's
be
kind
the
of
case.
That's my take on it. I don't think we're going to see that in our lifetime.
Right.
But in our lifetime, it's going to take a human to manage it. I think it's going to create more jobs, to be honest. But sure, maybe one day, it will start taking a lot more jobs. But I don't think it's anything we're going to have to worry about.
Yeah.
So explain to me the process of your company, right? So do you guys work with, super small businesses just getting started, or, do you kind of have to have everything in place first? Give me a little rundown on like who you guys work with and what that process looks like.
Yeah. So we're in sort of mid-market, and what we define that is businesses doing sort of 100 million to 10 billion in revenue annually. And you don't have to have anything to get started. Like you said, you can start with existing products and services, pull those into your existing workflows. Most of the work we do with companies is either helping them figure out their strategy, like where do we get started? Like, how do we know what the opportunities are? How do we know whether like this crazy AI
which
idea,
opportunities we should be taking advantage of,
exactly,
which we don't need. Like,
exactly.
Yeah, I gotcha. And they've got to have all their processes and everything in place to be able to figure out, okay, well, what can we replace with AI, or
and is it worth it?
Increase,
right? Is it worth it? Like, how much would it cost? Is that going to be hard? Is that going to be easy? And like a little, like what I would drop here as maybe my like best piece of advice I could give is in any business, don't spend money automating things that you can go buy off the shelf, right? Just go pay for those. And if you're gonna spend money on AI, if you can use the data you have that gives you some sort of competitive advantage, proprietary data that will allow you to either automate some part of your business, or even better, automate it and enhance or make it more accurate, that is the best. And we've done examples across so many industries where we'll take something, humans are doing it, it may take a human 3 days. You get AI involved, the human says, oh, the AI does like 90% of the work, comes back, the human vets it, does the things the AI still can't do, and then sends it off. And you get enormous efficiencies there, and it's all predicated on your data, and your competitors can't duplicate that. They can't copy that because they don't have your data.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, what is the largest, I guess, change in revenue that you've seen a business go from and to by implementing AI in the last 7 years?
Oh my gosh, we've seen so many things come to mind. There's because of non-disclosure, I'll be vague, but there's a publicly traded company. We built a loan management system, and they are now doing 30 billion a year, and about 60% of that is automated. I mean, no humans, automated.
30 billion a year in loans or in revenue?
In loans.
Wow.
Yeah.
Either way, that's still.
And we've done systems that have allowed companies to grow the revenue by double-digit factors. I mean, it's just kind of been crazy.
And 10, 15, 20 times there.
Exactly right. And then of course we've built systems that are like the entire capabilities, like it's the core offering. So you could technically say it was infinite. They went from 0 to, hundreds of million.
Right. And so like, obviously the opportunity is insane with AI, but what kind of an investment is a company looking at to be able to, so like let's say, for example, the company that, that was able to automate 60% of their sales using AI and go to doing, $30 billion in annual loans. How much of an investment is that taking a company on average?
So that particular system took about a year to build. And so you're looking at, probably high six
figures. And now this is complete custom. Completely custom built.
Yeah. So you're looking probably, I'd say on average, these are sort of mid 6-figure engagements, but they can get into the 7-figure. It really depends. And we've got,
but I mean, the ROI is just unbelievable.
It's unreal. Yeah. I mean, we're doing, we work, we've got some government related contracts that are, in the 8-figure range, but those are
Right.
multi-year engagements that are
Right.
extremely complex, state of the art things, right? So.
I imagine. So, Ron, I know you guys have a lot of information out there. What is a good starting point if somebody wants to get some more information? They want to dive into some of your tools. Where's the best place to go? Is it KungFu AI?
Yep. Yeah. Go hit KungFu AI and you'll find a bunch of things there. You can download a bunch of documents, a bunch of how-tos. We've got, I don't even know how many blog posts on how to. You can access all of our podcasts. We have a podcast called Hidden Layers.
Awesome.
It's all about what's happening in AI. We interview some of the leading researchers on the work that they're doing. But then we also do practical stuff. Like you can listen and we'll be talking about, we just did an episode last week where we're talking about the latest breakthroughs and how to use them and stuff like that. So everything you probably would need would be on that site. And if you want to reach out to me personally, it's super simple. It's just Ron, RON, at KungFu AI.
Awesome, man. I'll make sure to put the website in the description so they can just click it and get to you easily. Ron, we need to set up a call for either later this week or next week because, man, we're dealing with some AI. We have a lot of automation. We've been using AI with Go High Level and automated a lot of our cold outreach, text, email, and with all the restrictions they put in place, we're kind of getting away from that, just because it doesn't allow us to do enough. So yeah, we got to start looking at some other things, and we definitely want to get into some customized ways. I mean, we're already way ahead of our competition.
Oh, sounds like
but we're looking to smoke them, man.
I love it. Well, I'd love to help.
Absolutely, man. Awesome, Ron. I will shoot you an email and we'll set something up. I appreciate your time today, man.
Hey, thanks for having me on. This is awesome.
Absolutely. Thanks, Ron.